Talk today. I'm Lawrence Presman. Covers is my co-host. We got a killer show lined up. Tons of actionable betting information coming your way. Andy Lang will be joining us right off the bat. He's got a couple of NFL bets for you. One on Russell Wilson, the second on Sam Darnold, and he threw in a bonus play in the NBA. Gianni, after that, he's going to do a deep dive into the Buffalo-Kansas City game, probably the most watched game this weekend. I mean, it's going to be close. Pittsburgh and Baltimore is another big one. And he's also got a bet for us on the Oliveira Chandler fight. Teddy, what's your big game breakdown?
Big game breakdown. We'll go to the NFL and talk the Bears and the Packers. And in What Bettors Learn, we're going to talk about the type of teams we should be focusing on in order to ride long term. So the Loaded Friday edition, Prez, let's get right into it.
Yeah, and we're going to end the show with Dave Mason. Before we start with anything, guys, if you like what you're hearing, if you enjoy this video, please take a second out of your day and hit that like button. And also a shout out to everybody who has purchased the Odd Couple promo. I stunk last night. Was my first bad night in 10 days. I went 1-4. That's over and done with. It's going to be a great weekend. And Teddy and I have an unbelievable promo up for you guys. It's buy Teddy for 3 days, get me free for 3 days. And I've got a 5% play up on Sunday in the NFL. So today is the perfect day to buy the Odd Couple promo because you get Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I got a huge NHL play up you'll get in that package. No coupon code required, right, Teddy?
Correct. All you have to do is visit either of our pages, wt.buzz/TC or wt.buzz/LP. You can take advantage of 3-day all access. You got a 5% big ticket. I got a 5% big ticket. I'm in the NBA tonight. You're in the NHL tonight. So there's lots of good stuff that you can get if you want to get on board. 67% all sports run Sunday.
Oh, you got an NFL 5. I gotta go take a look at what it is while Andy Lang yaps. Andy!
Yes.
So, Andy Lang, we started the show off air with you asking Teddy if he's going to bet on the Jake Paul fight. And
apparently,
Teddy,
there are dumb questions.
Yeah, Teddy,
you know the phrase, there's no such thing as a dumb question? Apparently, that's wrong. There are dumb questions.
Yeah, Teddy fainted. Kara had to come in and cool him down a little with a fan. Then he got up and he was like, WTF? And then you were like, why? And then he was like, well, what am I supposed to bet? So, what am I supposed to bet?
What actually happened was Lang asked the question, and I said, well, WTF am I supposed to bet in that fight? There's no bet for Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. I don't trust either guy. What do? Are you betting the fight?
Andy.
I am not. I was leaning Jake Paul,
so,
but
if you're not betting it, I'm going to bet it. I don't know anything about fighting.
It was an innocent question. I didn't attack you. I didn't insult you. It was an innocent question. I'm sorry, Teddy.
Eddie, get out of here with that dumbass question. Okay, brother. So, Gianni's going to take apart the Kansas City Buffalo game. You've got a bet for us on the Pittsburgh Baltimore game. I am 100% aligned on this bet. Tell everybody what it is and why.
Fade the Ravens secondary. Let's take Russell Wilson over 225.5 yards passing. This Ravens team allows 295 yards passing per game, 313 over the last 3 games. 8 out of 10 quarterbacks have gone over this total. And now Najee Harris is a little bit banged up. I know he practiced in full, but I watched that game last week and he was not 100%. This Ravens is the number 1 rush defense in the league. We know how to attack the Ravens, and that's through the air. I would expect big games from Jalen Warden catching the ball out of the backfield. Ravens struggle against tight ends. They struggle against wide receivers. So let's just go to Russell Wilson and have him throwing the ball all over the place. I'm not really sure how many times Najee's going to run the ball. I'm not really sure how many times Warren's going to run the ball if they just don't have success. And if Russell Wilson gets off to a good start in the first quarter, I think this is just throw. So I will continue to fade the Baltimore Ravens secondary.
Now, we saw Joe Burrow light him up, obviously, last week on Thursday night. Does the extra prep time matter at all? Does the fact that Baltimore brought in another defensive assistant matter at all? I mean, the Ravens, in theory, should be better this week defensively than they were a week ago.
I mean, even if they're better, Russell Wilson can still torch him. What do they shave 75 yards off Burrow's performance? This still easily cashes. Just listen, this is one of those plays we talk about trends. We talk about playing the same thing week in and week out. This has just been one of the best ones to fade Baltimore. So I'm just going to keep fading it with all of these quarterbacks. Even Bo Nix almost got over this 225.5. But his total was set at 210, so he got over that total. So this is just a defensive unit that's an absolute fade from here on out.
Yeah, I mean, this play just makes so much sense to me, Andy. And, add to the fact that, the Ravens are going to get their scores. Somewhere in this game, Pittsburgh's going to have to throw the ball. So really, really do like this bet. Makes a lot of sense. I might be joining you along the way. So Sam Darnold, incredible start to the season, has come under a little bit of fire of late, did not have a good game last week, although they were able to put up yards. They moved the ball up and down the field. They held the ball last week for over 42 minutes possession-wise. If they do that again this week, I'm concerned about your bet. Tell us where you're going and why.
Okay, well, we're going to take Sam Darnold under his passing total. I'm seeing it 240.5 right now. So look at some of his last games. He's had 241, 290, 240, and 259 in his last 4 games. Not bad. However, that is against the 22nd, the 27th, the 28th, and the 30th ranked pass defenses. He's had 208 yards or less against the number 2, number 4, number 5, and number 9 pass defenses this season. And his opponent is the Titans, who are number 1. Now, you can run on them. That's the problem with the Tennessee defense. It's like the exact opposite of Baltimore. They're 7th worst in rush defense the last 3 games. And you mentioned it, Prez. Like, Darnold has 5 interceptions in the last 2 games. What a nice game to just hand the ball off, not have him take too many chances. I know Aaron Jones is a little banged up. They have Cam Akers. They have other ones. This Tennessee team is really struggling. So this, to me, this points to a run type of game for Minnesota. Why put Sam Darnold in harm's way and have him throw some more interceptions? So I don't think you're going to see a lot of pass attempts. I think he comes under this total.
So here's my question. You talked about the Titans' number 1 ranked pass defense, and I think that number is BS. When you watch Tennessee, it looks to me very much like a number. Sometimes statistics lie. And it's a scenario where Tennessee's been down by margin in the second half over and over again. Opposing teams just running the football against them, and that's working out fine. Do you believe that Tennessee's pass defense in particular, is a top 5 unit, a top 10 unit, or is it just, the team's running them so easily that they're not throwing the football?
I mean, skill-wise, I don't think you would say that they're, I don't think if you picked apart the individual pieces, you would say, oh, this is a top 5 unit. But when you compare it to how bad their rush defense is, the game script has just been playing out this way. Like you said, they get down and then teams just run out the clock. And your point is right. Are they the number 1 pass defense in the league? No, of course not. But the numbers just show that teams don't have to pass on them. So take the path of least resistance, run it down their throats.
Yeah, and Andy, again, just to add to that, Tennessee, I mean, we're more than halfway through the season. This team, although they allow a ton of points, 2nd in the league in yards allowed, 273 altogether. That's rushing and passing. And I understand that they're not some world-beating defensive unit, but Sam Darnold under 259.5, that's like 13 yards. 240. Oh, he put a typo. 240. That's 30 yards less than what they allow rushing and receiving. So I like that bet too, Andy. I think they both make a lot of sense. I do prefer the Russell Wilson one. Not that anyone cares. Orlando Magic. What do you got for us on them?
I've been loving team totals this season in NBA. I think they're putting some of these teams a little bit lower, and I'll take a bite on the Orlando Magic over 105.5 on their team total. I'm interested in Teddy's thoughts on this. I think the Magic maybe have figured out something out on offense without Banchero. They got 4 wins in a row, 115, 121, 114, and 94 points in their last 4 games. The 94-point performance against Indiana was a win. That was a second leg of a back-to-back. And Teddy, oh my God, I do not trust the 76ers team in the slightest. I don't trust Embiid. I don't think he's even close to being 100% healthy. He was winded like 8 minutes into the game. And now it comes out that Andre Drummond is maybe not playing tonight. He missed the morning shoot around with an illness. So what are we going to get from Embiid? Is he going to have to play a lot of minutes? This is a roster from the 76ers that I just don't trust. And when Embiid did play in the last game, they lost 111-99. Then against Cleveland, they gave up 114. I think this total is too low. Kind of like the trajectory of where the Magic are, and I just don't trust the 76ers. Give me the Magic over their team total.
Andy Lang says Orlando is going to score points tonight against Philadelphia. Look at them over their team total. Andy, great segment. What do you have to promote, my friend?
Well, we've got college football and UFC 309 packs that are up, but really go grab the NBA best bet that is up. Number 1 in all categories in NBA this season. We're very selective with our plays. Only 8 plays. We've won 7 of them, and this is only the second NBA play we've had this week. So I do not put out a lot of plays, but when I do, they're really confident. And the best part, this is a plus 120 play. So you're getting a smoking deal on a play that I think is completely mispriced. That goes off tonight, wt.buzz/AL. We are up 163 units, all sports, last 365 days, and we look to continue the momentum tonight.
There we go. Andy Lang, outstanding work at Teddy Covers. Shout out to Tori Wymond and Tim. All 3 of you guys just purchased the Odd Couple promotion. Thank you. We are going to win for you. Teddy, do you hear me? This weekend is our best work, okay? Our best work, Theodore. What did bettors learn last night?
So, admittedly, I wrote this when the Commanders were winning the game, not in the second half. But I wanted to talk about the concept of teams like the Commanders, teams like the Lions, the very best point spread teams. They can hold value all year. They can hold value through years, regardless of sport. What are those teams? It's real simple. Teams going from bad to good. That's what it takes. Everyone talks about Dan Campbell's point spread record in Detroit, and he's phenomenal, and Dan Campbell gets all the credit. He doesn't deserve all the credit. It has to do with the betting markets. The betting markets, when a team has been bad, take a while to adjust to the fact that the team is good. When a team has been good and the team goes to great, the betting markets lag behind the whole time. Detroit's been that team. I don't think they'll be that team moving forward, but they've been that team for the better part of the last 2 years. This year, that team's been the Washington Commanders. You go to college football, the Indiana Hoosiers certainly stand out as a team that's been bad, and now they're good. Who'd you make money with in baseball this year? Detroit, Cleveland, KC, the Mets, all top 5. All of them were sub 500 teams in 2023 and playoff teams in 2024. The best point spread teams in the NBA last year, Orlando, Oklahoma City, Houston, all top 5, all in the same process, going from bad to good, going from pretty good to excellent, from low or no expectations into contenders. We're seeing it across sports. If there's one piece of advice I can give you, look for teams going from bad to good. And when you find them, ride them till the wheels fall off. That stood out to me last night, Lawrence. Back to you, my friend.
Yeah, Teddy, I had the over in last night's game, and I knew that was a loser. The second the idiot Elliott guy missed the field goal. Last weekend, I lost 2 games by missed field goals, and as soon as he missed it, I was like, bad night a-coming, and a bad night a-came. Gianni, the Greek, joining us. My friend, how you been, brother? How are you?
Never better, Prez. Never better. Really busy, and right now my computer's acting up, so I'm gonna have to go blind without anything to look at. But I remember everything, so we're okay. Big weekend. Jake Paul fight tonight with Mike Tyson. Everyone's excited about that. Brings the bettors out.
Are you
UFC
betting it?
309. Oh, absolutely. In fact, I swear to you, this is a cash bet for me. I'm going to the bank right after this because I'm betting this one at the window. This is worth getting paid at the window for me. I don't want to get piss off people with account. No. You got no. I can't share that here. People already paid for it. I can't do it. They'd get pissed. They'd get pissed. This is a big bet for me. It's a big bet.
Oh, Teddy, I'm going to go look right now. Teddy, you get some info out of him. I can look. I won't say it, but I can look.
It's not in there yet. It's not in there
yet.
Until I get to the window with my cash bet. My players will get it as I get to the window.
Are you gonna text me it?
110%, sir. 110%.
Okay, let's go through the UFC one first. Then we're gonna dig deep into this Buffalo Kansas City game. Chandler fighting Oliveira on Saturday. You don't think this fight's gonna last very long? Tell us why.
No, 7.5 minutes is an eternity for these two guys. I mean, they realize they don't get paid by the hour, so they're in there to get out of there as quickly as possible. Usually I'll look for a regression towards the mean when you have outliers, but that's just not the case with MMA. It's just some guys are built to fight, come out guns blazing quickly, and that's what you have throughout their entire career. We have a pretty big sample size. Charles Oliveira's had almost 30 fights in the UFC. He's got a finish rate of about 85%. Whether he wins or loses, it ends in a finish. Michael Chandler, same thing. 80% finish rate in his UFC fights in a weight class where it's about 55% don't finish, don't go to a decision. So we have a lot going with us. It seems kind of like a square play, but I just think I can't see these two. And I'm not an X's and O guy, but just everything I see, they have a negative strike differential, which means they get hit a lot. So even though they throw a lot of offense, defensively, they're just not sound. So I think there'll be a lot of opportunities for a finish. Either guy could knock the other out. Either guy could submit. Like, there's a lot of paths to finish each other. We already saw this fight take place once, and it was complete chaos. I don't think that changes. Go under 1.5. It's good up until 150. 6 out of 10 times easily finishes in less than 7.5 minutes. Again, I'm a guy who regresses to the mean, but these two guys just will not regress. They're outliers, they're finishers, and I think that happens again Saturday night at Madison Square Garden.
Oliveira Chandler under 1.5 rounds, says Gianni the Greek. Johnny, anything else stand out to you for UFC this weekend? What are you betting? What are you hearing? Et cetera, et cetera.
I like Oliveira. I like Oliveira in that fight. I know a lot think Chandler's live because it's the plus money and the adjustment off that first fight has been made as far as the price goes, but I don't think they've adjusted it enough. I think Chandler's one of those guys who looks great. He always looked like he's capable of winning a fight. But the bottom line is, when I look over his last, since 2020 in the UFC, he's got one win, and that's against Tony Ferguson, who I think's lost 8 or 9 straight fights. So he's in there against top guys. He fights for your money. He makes it look like he's got a chance to beat any of these guys, but he just doesn't get the W. So I think you want to stay away from that plus money on Chandler that a lot of bettors that I'm already seeing that they're in love with that Chandler side. And real quickly, I bet Mickey Gall as well. There's sharp money against me, so I'll let you know that. And the big dog I like is I like Viviana Araújo. She's about a 3-1 dog, plus 250 at least. Karine Silva's got the age advantage, but I think a little too much hype too early. You're paying a huge premium for Karine Silva's run, and I don't think she should be a 3-1 favorite over someone as dangerous as Viviana Araújo. So look to Viviana Araújo, look to Mickey Gall. Again, I can tell you sharp money's against me there, and look to Oliveira and the under. That should make you some money on Saturday night.
There you go. And we got a bunch of people that want to follow you to the window. So what time and where should they meet you?
I swear to you, I'm going right to the bank, because when you pick up a pass, you got to tell them, over 10 grand so they get it ready for you. So I got a 10 o'clock appointment at the bank. I will be at the sportsbook by 10:30, 11 at the latest. So by 1 p.m. Eastern, that play will be in the system, and I will have my ticket in hand by 11 a.m. Pacific time.
1 p.m. PST, everybody, not 1 p.m. Eastern. Gianni,
Yes, sir.
Kansas City, Buffalo. I mean, this is a big game, and we see this every single year. Like clockwork, Buffalo wins in the regular season and loses in the playoffs. Is it going to go down the same way in this one?
I think it changes, Prez, and I really wanted to get into the NFL because we've really been heating up there. I have a big 5% on Sunday. I think now 6-1-1 or 7-1-1 on those.
Oh,
I
is it up? I want to go look.
It's already up. Go look. It's already up. I fired it, Prez, I think Monday right away. I was not going to wait on it there.
Congrats. Sorry to interrupt. Congrats on your Miami one. Great 5% bet last week, brother.
Nice bet, right? I like this one as well.
Yeah.
I do. I have a nice 5% in the NFL, and I got a card I really like in the NFL. And Kansas City's already a 4% play. Hopefully, it's also available for a Wong teaser come Sunday. Go to make sure you don't forget last call. I gave 3 Wong teasers on Sunday, 3-0. It's Wong teaser 2.0, the Greek style Wong teaser. You'll get them again on Sunday. But here's the bottom line with Buffalo and Kansas City. Kansas City's just a better team. Power rating wise, they're better on a neutral field. Obviously, you got to factor in a little bit home field advantage. But when you look at the series between these two, it hasn't really mattered all that much. Coupled with passing success rate, you have Mahomes still top 5. That's one of the highest correlations to winning. And surprisingly, when you look at the Buffalo quarterback, you would think Allen's like a top 5 guy, top 10 guy. He's not this year. In fact, he's barely top 15 in passing success rate. And then finally, I got the number 1 defense, about 3 points better than your NFL average. And I think that's enough to slow down this Buffalo Bills team. And in the end, I just think they choke. They always find a way to lose the big games. I've had futures on them. I believed in them in the past and faded Kansas City, and it's always cost me. And I'm not going to do it. I will take the square side. We're going to hear all week about Mahomes is a dog, Kansas City is a dog, and it's the square side. And they're still going to go out there in Buffalo on Sunday and beat the Buffalo Bills.
Teddy, I'll throw to you in a second. I'll throw. I just wanted to say, I checked Gianni's 5% play.
Yes,
Boom.
yes. Haven't checked the Prez address yet. I wait till Friday to do that, usually tonight, because I go into my NFL again. And I don't want to be biased. I don't like to be biased until I have all my selections, side and totals, and then I start looking at what other people I respect like. So that gets tonight.
The craziest thing is, sorry, Teddy, the craziest thing with the NFL presidential address is people say, oh my God, that was so informative. And then another person, oh my God, that was so entertaining. I was told that this was the most entertaining of the year. And for me, I take more pleasure in it being the most entertaining than the most informative. I want it to be entertaining. Not agree more. Teddy, go. Sorry.
So, Gianni, let's talk about the rest of the NFL card. What are you seeing? What are you hearing? What are you betting?
All right, here's what I can tell you so far. Really sharp money came in on the Browns and the over against the Saints. A lot of sharp money on the Browns and the over. The Lions, I was surprised that the Lions got bet, Teddy. The look ahead was 10.5. They brought it out at 12. It got up to like 12.5, 13. I thought that was it. It's over. Whoever got down, got down. That wasn't the case. I had a group that wanted me to lay up to 13.5. In fact, when I couldn't get a lot down, they said, take the 14 at that point. So they like this Detroit team, and I always expect them to like more regress because they just seem like their analytics are so off the chart. You expect them to come back down to earth, but wise guys don't think that's going to happen. They like the Lions there. They like the under as well, but it's the Trevor Lawrence situation. Seahawks at 7. Every 7 they want to take over the 49ers. That's why that line's no longer available. The Broncos all the way up to that key. Before the key number, they laid all the way up to 2.5. I told you about the Chiefs. And over, Bengals, Chargers, over. The look ahead was 42 and 43. So you don't think they're going to take a number that far, after it moves to 45, 46, or 47. That's exactly what they did. After the adjustment of 4 or 5 points, they still went over 46, 46.5, and 47 on the Bengals, Chargers. That's also a 4% play in my package. I got a good NFL card this week. I really like it. But those are some of the sharper plays that I've seen so far.
So, Gianni, I specifically want to ask you about this game and this bet, because one of the things that you've done over the, you work for you move for some of the biggest betting groups, and we tend to assume that they get just about everything right. You told us that they asked you to lay 14 with Detroit. Why would they ask you to do that early in the week? Detroit's back down to 13.5. Does that happen a lot? Does that happen
Yeah,
once in
no.
a while? Tell me about it.
Very rare, Teddy. Great point. Because usually when that happens, it's either a different group will come in and take the other side. Like when I see a -10 and someone lays the -12, and then I see 14 and a half or something, I always expect another group to come in and take the dog in the NFL, because that's just too big of a movement. Someone's going to see value on the other side, unless it's like a huge injury or something like that. But I think this line just started moving so quickly with almost no resistance, when there was a little bit of resistance, because it got up to 12 and a half, then dropped back to 11 and a half, and it got hit again. And then even when the limits went up, like it kept getting hit. And then that's when I was like, you can't find enough on 13 and a half, lay the 14. And that's rare, like you said, to happen. But it's a zero-sum game. So these guys aren't working together. And when they're pretty sure that another group's going to get out ahead of them, they'll do something like that. Because, again, they're not working together. So their number has to be well over 2 touchdowns. Because, again, the look ahead was 4 points less. And now they're willing to lay. Again, it's not a key number, but it matters. 14 matters more than 13 and a half. So, yeah, those are surprising to me. And those are one of those where I'm like, it's favored or pass. Like this, they like to lay that big of a number. It's got to be favored or pass for me.
The look-ahead line was based when Trevor Lawrence was still QB. And
yes.
I mean, isn't that worth that? Is that adjustment appropriate for Trevor Lawrence being out? And if you watch Mac Jones last week, you're not exactly excited about betting the Jags this week.
No, and usually that's exactly what you would do. You would wait and see the overreaction, and the market would overreact and think he's worth more than he is, and then they would come in after the public bets it up on Sunday and take some of that dog money. But that just hasn't happened. Unless Sunday you see this line go down to 12 and a half, then you'll see that it was huge disagreement. Otherwise, again, it's one of those games where tried to get ahead of the injury, just kept betting it. I think not sure where that it was almost like kind of like with Bitcoin. Once it broke its high, people don't know. Is it like what price is it finally going to get to? I think that was the case kind of with the 14.
Who told you like 5 weeks ago that November was the month for Bitcoin?
You did. Yes, you did. And once a stock, a crypto, a line gets in price discovery mode, you're just not sure where it's going to go. Like I know people that went broke trying to short it. You can't short it once it passes an all-time high, because it could go to the moon. It can go to the moon. People aren't rational. People are not rational.
Gianni,
so once it breaks,
Gianni, we're right up against it. We're right up against it. So I'm going to say really quick, Gianni has a 5% play in NFL. It is presidentially approved. He has a 5% play in the MMA. I got no opinion on it.
Yep.
Gianni, within 30 seconds, some college football, and then we got to let you go, bro.
Even better, I'm giving them college basketball tonight. Actionable information. You ready? I'll give you the ones that multiple groups bet on. Here we go. Extra board games. Cal Baptist minus 15 and a half and 16. Maine +7 all the way down to +6. Regular board over 151, 152. TCU Michigan and Washington State +6, 5.5, and 5. Those are the 4 college basketball sides and totals that got hit in multiple accounts.
Boom! Mic drop. Gianni the Greek, everyone. Thank you so much, brother. And make sure to text me what you're betting, because I'm going to a friend's house to watch that stupid-ass fight tonight. Teddy covers. We just made a couple of more odd couple sales. Thank you, guys. Great promotion going on. Buy 3 days of Teddy, get 3 days of me for free. We both have a 5% play on Sunday as well. I got 5 college football plays up for tomorrow. Great day to take advantage of that odd couple promo. 14 minutes until the daily presidential address. Teddy covers. It's time for your big game breakdown.
Big game breakdown. And this is something I don't do a lot. A team that I supported last week that I lost with. Well, I'm flipping. I'm going to fade them here. And there's ample reasons why. Let's talk about Green Bay and Chicago. Right now, look at the WagerTalk free live odds screen. Packers 5.5 at most books. You can find 5s, you can find 6s. We got bet on versus bet against pretty clearly in this one. Obviously, Chicago's had their fair share of struggles in recent games. I don't know that everyone knows how bad it's been. All right, we're talking about a team, 11 offensive linemen and take at least 20 snaps for the Bears this season. That's tied for most in the league. Last week, basically their entire starting offensive line hurt. They had 6 linemen play, and the offense didn't work for the 3rd straight game. 3 points against New England. That offensive line will continue to be a problem for Chicago until proven otherwise. And when we look at the Bears offense the last 3 weeks, remember, they were shut down completely against Washington for 3 quarters and then found a little momentum in the 4th and then had the game taken away from them, the Hail Mary. They were shut down completely the next week, and they were shut down completely last week. They had a no-show game in Arizona and then another no-show game in New England. That was supposed to be their get-right spot. The OC's been fired. Caleb Williams has been under incredible pressure. The receiving core hasn't stepped up. And these aren't problems that feel like they're about to be solved. With Matt Eberflus clearly on the hottest seat, as hot a seat as there is in the NFL right now. No one expects him to be back. I don't think the players expect him to be back. So we have a Bears team that's worthy of a fade. It's not just Caleb Williams struggling. It's all over for Chicago. In terms of all over the on both sides of the field. I think it's all over for their season as well, but it's certainly all over when it comes in terms of where the Bears' problems are. It's not just a rookie QB. Green Bay owns Chicago at Soldier Field, all right? They've won their last 5. They've won, 9 of the last 10. All the last 5 wins have come by a touchdown or more. They'll have as many fans as the Bears will in this game. And we've got the Packers in what I consider to be a pretty strong bet-on spot. They're off a loss to a divisional rival that they played poorly against Detroit and a bye week. Hungry, rested, and ready. Can the Pack win this game by a touchdown plus? I think they can. I think they will. If I'm playing, I'm laying. Give me the Packers minus the points. And listen, really important. We appreciate the likes very much. We appreciate the follows very much. We appreciate the comments very much. Thank you for your contributions to making our content as good as you can find on the internet. Prez, back to you, my friend.
Oh, I just got Gianni's bet. Woohoo! Okay. Teddy covers, my man. I agree with you on the Pack. I'm feeling it today. I rode 20K today. I hit a personal best. I'm feeling it. Dave Mason joining us. Dave, I'm going to start the show with 3 questions. 1, Tyson fight. Where's the money? 2, Baltimore-Pittsburgh. Where's the money? 3, Kansas City-Buffalo. Where's the money? I'll shut up and listen, and then Teddy can take over.
Yeah, I mean, Tyson, this Tyson fight, I mean, the action's just absolutely crazy on this, as expected. I mean, these are the fights that get bet the most in boxing now. It's the sad state of affairs for boxing, but these, circus fights, whatever you want to call them, get the most action. I mean, 78% of the bettors, or no, 79% of the tickets are on Mike Tyson, currently plus 225, even though he hasn't won a professional fight since February of 2003. Jake Paul has a little bit more of the money, but he is the favorite. What is that? About 58% of the cash is on Jake Paul. But when you figure out that, you get less money on Mike Tyson, we are going to need Jake Paul large. We get a little insurance there on the parlays. Jake Paul is the more popular parlay side as usual. People like to in fights, money line favorites. So he'll be money lined. He'll be a lot of money line parlays with Jake Paul and a bunch of UFC on Saturday. As far as the football is concerned, the 2 biggest games on the betting board. You got Pittsburgh getting 3 at home. 62% of the tickets are on Pittsburgh. 57% of the cash is on the Ravens. KC, Buffalo. Choppy, 54% of the bettors are on KC and 53% of the cash is on the Chiefs as well. So yeah, I mean, a lot of big events this weekend. Looking forward to it.
But it sounds like you're getting two-way action on both of the big NFL games, or the 2 biggest NFL games. Does that sound right, Dave?
Yeah, no, that sounds exactly right. I mean, still so much action yet to come in, especially on the second game, KC of Buffalo. Not a lot of volume with. I mean, a lot of tickets, but not a lot of volume. But so, it's still so probably 90% of money to come in, if not a little bit more.
And Dave, the last time we hung out down in San Jose, Costa Rica, we were watching UFC, and you told me UFC is your favorite sport. Fighting's the sport that you personally handicap. When it comes to this Paul Tyson fight, I know we've talked about it a lot on today's show. I can't make heads or tails of it from like which side I want to bet. Do I trust Paul to lay this price? Do I want Tyson at the? I'm not betting any fighter that's older than me. You got an opinion? You got a take on it?
So wait, let me jump in quick, Dave, and I want to, because Teddy did mention, we've talked a lot about it. I have two daughters, Teddy. One's 24, 23 and a half. The other's 21. Both of them are going to a Mike Tyson, Jake Paul party tonight. My 16-year-old stepson is going to a Jake Paul, Mike Tyson party tonight. My 14-year-old stepson, Jake Paul, Mike. This fight is freaking massive. Sorry, Dave.
Well, in Toronto, it might be because you have nothing to do up there.
Yeah, shut up, Teddy.
Yeah, I mean, just you saying that kind of brings back the memories, man. I think we're all kind of around the same age, but remember back in the 80s when Tyson was on top of the world? I mean, yeah, I was too young to go in bars back then, but I mean, we were always watching it on HBO over at a friend's house. So, I mean, that's just Tyson now, you know? I mean, even all these years later, is this a character and an icon. You know, and then you had the Jake Paul element on top. It's an event, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a marketer first, odds guy second, and I love these events, man. You know what I mean? That just gets people going, and we seen it before. Conor McGregor versus Mayweather is the biggest bet fight in the history of the company, the biggest sign-up day in the history of the company. McGregor was 0-0, the career boxer, and it still drove that much action because it's an event. Anyways, my feelings on it, I mean, it's minus 265 plus 225 now. I mean, Tyson's going to have to knock him out early. He's 58 years old. I don't care what he was 30, 40 years ago. He's 58 years old, man. I mean, those legs are going to crap out fast. I don't care what he looks like. He's in great shape for a 58-year-old man. I'm envious, even though I'm not that old. You know, he could probably still knock the hell out of 99% of people on earth, but he's 58. Those legs are going to gas fast. The 2-minute rounds will help him, but he's going to be headhunting early. If he doesn't hit him, I mean, Jake Paul will outlast him and point him up, I think, and maybe even knock him out. I mean, just you get gas like that. So the sharper side is Jake Paul. That being said, he's at the minus 265. The sharper action came in at smaller numbers, without a doubt. I mean, that number could creep down again tonight, though, because, you know, this is going to be a huge decision. So you might get a bargain. We're going to need Jake Paul pretty big, so you might get a bargain. We might be looking for some buyback.
And if you want to maximize your return on Tyson, you're saying Tyson and under makes a lot of sense. It'd be hard to imagine Tyson lasting the full 8 rounds, even though they're 2-minute rounds tonight. Is that correct, Dave?
Yeah, 2-minute rounds, 8 rounds, 14-ounce gloves. So they're gonna have a little pillow fight in there. So there's definitely some different rules. Know those rules before you bet on this fight, because you know, those are some pretty big, important rules there.
We've got just a few minutes left with Dave Mason from betonline.ag at Dave Mason BOL on X. Dave, let's talk. We talked the 2 big NFL games. Let's talk the rest of the NFL card. Tell me what games on all the parlays this week, who's the public in love with, and anything stand out in terms of who the wise guys have been pounding.
Yeah, let me throw you some sharps out there real quick. Bears +6, Patriots +5, Jags +14 in the hook, Raiders +8, a little bit on that. Broncos -2, then 2-way on Jets Colts. Jets -3, Colts +4. As far as popular bets of tickets, 83% on the Packers, but 63% on the Browns, 63% on the Rams. 62% of tickets, once again, is on Pittsburgh. Of course, the cash is the other way. Detroit, 74% of the bettors on Detroit. Minnesota, 67%. Indy, 75%. And Houston, 76% of the tickets are on Houston at Dallas.
Strong info, as always, from Dave Mason. We love having him on every Friday. Dave, before we let you go, let's talk a little college football. Again, the same basic question. Who do the Sharks love this week? What games on all the parlay cards? Who's the public in love with? And anything stand out to you for college football this weekend, tonight?
As far as sharp, as usual, there's absolutely a ton. UTSA tonight +1.5. Arizona pick. Georgia Southern -7. Florida, sorry, Atlantic, plus 2.5, ODU, plus 3.5, Charlotte, plus 3, Louisiana Tech, plus 13.5 or better, New Mexico, plus 12.5, WVU, plus 2.5 or better, Florida International, plus 14, Whiskey, what is that? Not sure. Actually, disregard that one. Nebraska plus 9, Arizona State 9 or better, and two-way on Tennessee, Georgia. Tennessee plus 11, Georgia minus 9.5. As far as lopsided, not a lot of lopsided yet on the big volume game. 63% on the tickets on Texas minus 11.5. 66% tickets on Tennessee. LSU's getting 71% of the bettors. 78% on Oregon at Whiskey, and then 73% on Nebraska. So those are the most lopsided bet counts, but still so much action yet to come in.
The Huskers, a popular dog on Saturday in Los Angeles. Dave Mason, thank you so much for joining us. Tell us what's going on at betonline.ag this weekend.
Yeah, big weekend. Tyson Paul tonight, as we discussed. It's gonna be an event. Ton of action coming in. Don't miss out. Big limits over there. A ton of props, man. A ton of more props than any other book. I guarantee that. We have UFC 309 tomorrow. I'm a big fight fan, as you said. We have a predictor contest, $10,000 on the line, and of course, early opening odds for all the NBA, college basketball, college football, NFL, and our reduced juice NHL as well. Come on over to betonline.ag. Everybody have a great weekend.
We appreciate your time every Friday. Dave Mason, again, betonline.ag. And that's going to wrap it for the week here on Wager Talk Today. We have Lawrence's presidential address coming up next after I close out this show, so stay tuned. Thank you all for watching. Again, we appreciate the likes. We appreciate the follows. Check out our odd couple promo. If you want to get on board for the weekend, you get every play, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every play, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, etc., etc. You can take advantage of that. All access, nothing more to buy, no bait and switch. Get me, and you get Lawrence for free. Get Lawrence, you get me for free, plain and simple. So check out the odd couple promo. And that's it. Enjoy the games. Best of luck all weekend. Stay tuned for Lawrence's daily presidential address. Cheers.
Welcome, everybody, to the Daily Presidential Address. I'm Lawrence Presman, and I've got a great hockey bet for you guys, one that I'm making, and then I have a bonus bet after that. Let's start right off the bat with Vegas going into Utah tonight. This is the Vegas Golden Knights, and I think they are the bet. They are minus 120 playing this Utah team, and this is both a bet on spot for Vegas and a bet against spot for Utah. Firstly, Vegas just came up of a win against Anaheim 3-2. They outshot Anaheim 39-24. And that was following 2 straight losses, which is very important to this handicap. They lost to Seattle and they lost to Carolina. And they really haven't been in full sync mode yet this year. Now they play the Utah team, and Utah just came off a hell of a win against Carolina. I actually gave you guys Utah against Carolina at plus 170, but the Utah Hockey Club only had 21 shots against Carolina and allowed 50. They're not playing very good hockey right now, and I think they're in a position where they're going to have a bit of an emotional letdown. You don't beat a team like Carolina and then keep the mojo going. Vegas is coming into this game 10-4-2 on the season. They have lost 2 of their last 3. They need to get rolling. They dominate this team, whether it was in Phoenix or Utah. They've already won 1 this year. Granted, it was in overtime. But at minus 120 for a team as good as the Vegas Golden Knights, there is a ton of value on that bet. Now, I do have an extra bonus bet for you guys, but before I get into that, I'm on a 17-5 hoops run. I'm on a 6-1 NBA run, and my college basketball is up double-digit profits already this season. I am dominating basketball, and I have 4 basketball bets tonight. 4. 2 college and 2 NBA, and I have a very rare 4% play. Really great time to buy me for tonight. And instead of buying me, just buy the odd couple promo, Teddy and I. You buy 3 days of Teddy You get 3 days of my plays for free, and you can get that over at WagerTalk. I have a huge 5-pack tonight. I got 5 college football tomorrow. I have 5 NFL on Sunday, including a 5% play. Great time to take advantage of that odd couple promo. Okay, what is the bonus bet, you say, Prez? It is Anaheim against Detroit as a really live dog. An angle that I'm going to be studying moving forward, one I've been thinking about a lot, is these bad teams playing a good team or a mediocre team from the other conference. So in other words, when does Chicago win their hockey games? When does Anaheim win their games? When does Columbus win? When does San Jose win? When does Montreal win? It's when they play teams in the other conference who are looking past them. This game is meaningless. Not meaningless, but this game from a Detroit's perspective, they just beat Pittsburgh. Detroit and Pittsburgh are going to be vying for a wild card spot. Detroit and Anaheim aren't. You go back and you look at Anaheim, they beat Columbus in another division. They beat the New York Islanders in another conference, This is an angle that is worth looking at and worth exploring. Detroit is in Anaheim tonight. Anaheim is plus 120. That is where we're going as our bonus bet. Thank you for watching the Daily Presidential Address. I'm Lawrence Presman. Make sure to bet me over the next 3 days. Let's all win together.